Welcome everybody and happy Friday. Welcome to the RentLinx webinar, RentLinx Listing Tips, How to Get More Renters. Today your presenters are me, Amanda, and Jackie.
Hi everybody.
Everyone with us today should be familiar with RentLinx. You list once with RentLinx and we put your ads out on a whole bunch of websites across the internet. There's traditionally been two choices with RentLinx, RentLinx Basic, which is free, and RentLinx Plus per lead. We are really excited today to announce for the first time ever a brand new product we have called RentLinx Plus for small properties. More about that at the end. We have not made a formal announcement of this yet. You are the first group to hear about that, so we're pretty excited to tell you about that today. Now for the next 30 minutes, we are going to talk about a study we did across all of the listings and all of the leads in our database. RentLinx currently has over 50,000 original listings entered by the property owners and managers of properties all across the United States, all 50 states, everything from houses, duplexes, up to large apartment communities. What we did is we pulled all the leads from February 2013, last month. 87,000 leads came through our system, and we studied those leads to see which listings are getting more leads and which are getting less, to give you an idea of what renters really care about in your listings. So I will tell you, first of all, the overall theme today is renters really want detail, but it might be surprising to you which details they're looking for. So before we kick off the tips that we have for you today, we are going to have you participate in a little interactive portion. Jackie?
All right, everybody. So for our first poll today, we want to know, when was the last time you updated your RentLinx listing?
So what you can see is kind of evenly split over when you've updated your listings, mostly within the last 24 hours of the last week. So I'm happy to see that, and you're going to be happy to see that too. When we go to the first tip, obviously has to do with keeping your listings up to date. Renters do prefer fresh listings. Craigslist has really driven that point home to all of us, which is why renters flock to that site. The freshest listings are at the top. When you list with RentLinx, and many of the websites, renters can see your date stamps, so we encourage you to log in and keep your listings fresh. You can see the leads are coming through primarily for the freshest listings. So how do you do that? You log into RentLinx, and you're going to be on the Manage Your Properties page. You can select a property here and click on it to update your rent or your availability, or if your rent and availability are accurate, you click over here and mark as updated. This is a shortcut. Refreshes your ad, updates your date stamp. Renters can see that your ad is fresh. Also, if you haven't, this is a relatively new feature we've added. You can see which of your ads are actively running and which are paused. And if you want to pause an ad, you just click on this active button and you can pause it. So make use of that feature. The next tip we have is, of course, photos are very important. Renters in the age of the internet, renters just expect to see your photos, and so you know what your fellow property managers are doing. 79% of all listings in our RentLinx database do have photos. So if you are not including photos, you are in the small minority. And an ad without photos is not as interesting and does get fewer leads. So we encourage you to add lots of photos. And Jackie has some tips here.
Yeah, since unlimited photos are completely free with using any of our services, it's really important to have not only a good quantity, but a good quality. So vacant bedrooms generally don't show all that well, so you really want to make sure, if you are going to post a picture of a vacant bedroom, that it really shows the size properly. Another thing is that people want a good feel of your community. So if you do a lot of resident events or a lot of special things for residents, post them in your advertising. People want to see that, want to be involved, and want to be a part of your community. And the perfect way to do that is to see everything that you offer and what a friendly, inviting environment it is. Also, make sure to post pictures of any updated features that you have. If you just put brand new kitchens in your apartments, make sure you post that. And then also for the thumbnail photos, sorry if I'm going too fast, there's just so much we want to cover, is to make sure if every single community in your area has a pool, but yet, and you have one as well, try and make your main photo different from those around you or your competitors. So if you're one of the only communities that offers full-size in-unit washers and dryers, use that as your thumbnail. It doesn't just have to be a picture of your sign anymore or a picture of your clubhouse. So, and if you're going to use 10 or more photos, I would suggest putting a picture of your sign every 7 to 8 photos, so that way people remember what community they're looking at.
Okay, great. And so I think most of you know how to add photos. You log into RentLinx, select a property, then you have to scroll down. This edit page for each one of your listings is pretty long. So if you scroll all the way down, here's your property photos at the bottom. You click on either add photos or edit photos and captions, and use those captions under the photos to be descriptive of what you are showing in the photos. As Jackie said, if you have newly renovated kitchens, put that in the caption under the picture of your nice fresh kitchen. That renters, again, crave that detailed information. Okay, our next tip is words. Photos are important, but words are too. And as my daughter-in-law says to my baby granddaughter, use your words. She's just learning to talk. Again, you should know that 91% of the leads, of those 87,000 leads that came through last month, were for ads with property descriptions. Some listings just don't put a property description in, but you're probably missing out on the ad. So use the property description, and what you do here is you log into RentLinx, select a property, scroll down, and under Property General Information, there's an Edit General Information button right here. You can put in up to 2,000 characters. Now this is really important because search engines can't see photos. They can only search on words. So if you have a newly renovated kitchen, showing a picture of it is wonderful, but put in the words here that you just renovated, or you freshly painted, or it's new carpeting. Also, these are, again, from our database. We are not making this stuff up. These are actual popular keywords that renters have typed in when they're searching. So they might type in something like rental house, Ann Arbor, Michigan, or brick ranch, or fenced yard, rent to own, whatever is important to them. They don't want to search through a lot of listings. They want to try to get right to the meat of what they want. So these things are important to renters. If you have those in your ad, by all means list those. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the really interesting one. I think everybody knows about keywords and about photos, but attachments. This was a bit surprising to us that as the leads, these 87,000 leads came through our system, and we broke them up by which listings had attachments and which ones didn't. Only a small portion of the leads came through for listings with no attachments. So renters are preferring to respond to listings, to ads that have one or more attachments. And each one of these, you can see, are getting twice as much leads, the ads with attachments, as no attachments. So how do you do that? Again, you log into RentLinx. You scroll down. Your attachments and links section is right here. So make sure you're using that feature of your RentLinx listing. And what kind of attachments? Renters want to see your application. Hey, why not have them come in with the application pre-filled out? Wouldn't that be wonderful? With your pet policy, with your income qualifications, that renters will, pre-qualify themselves as much as possible. They really don't want to waste their time or your time if they're not qualified to live in your community. So let them know up front. And the leads that you get will be better quality leads. Also, add links to your video tour, your company website, or your Facebook page. That will help. Your RentLinx ads can help drive traffic to your website and your Facebook page, which is all really, really good. And the video tours are more and more popular. We're seeing more and more listings with video tours. So take advantage of that feature in your RentLinx account. Now, while renters like the attachments, they really, really like the amenities. And you can see here there's a clear renter preference based on the number of leads that came through for listings that have amenities listed. And the more amenities, 11 to 20 amenities, the better. So how do you list amenities? Again, you log into RentLinx and you scroll down, and here's your property amenities section. You click on Edit Amenities, and we give you a window with check boxes for all the different types of amenities. lease lengths, appliances, utilities included or not, pet policy. Make sure you take advantage of listing specifically what applies to your property. And we really, really encourage you. Each amenity, each checkbox has under it a little box where you can type in a description. Something like, if you have parking, type in carports, or whatever. If you have washers and dryers and they're full size, tell renters that. They love that. And at this point, we have another little interactive portion for you. Jackie?
All right, so for our second poll, we want to know, do you list your current pet policy on your advertising?
There you go. So you can see just about 70, almost 75% of you are listing a pet policy. 17% are not, and 11% don't know. It's fine if you don't know. You can check into your RentLinx listing after the webinar today. So let me show you. Obviously, that leads into our next tip, which is about pet policies. This one I was really, really surprised at. So all of the leads, again, that came through our system, 87,000 leads, a small portion came through for the ads that had no mention of pet policy. But if you mention in your ad, dogs are okay, cats are okay, dogs and cats are okay, or even no pets allowed, whatever you have, pets, no pets, renters are showing their clear preference here for ads that have pet policies. They really aren't going to want to waste their time calling you if you have it listed on your ad. So a dog or a cat is a member of the family, and if they can't live in your community, or they can live in your community, let them know online. Then that means that when they do contact you, the leads you get will be of better quality. And also list your breed restrictions, your weight limits, your pet deposits. So people with allergies want to live in pet-free apartments. So instead of just not listing a pet policy, if you don't allow cats and dogs, say no pets allowed. And you're likely to attract the renters that want to live in a no pets allowed property. So,
hey Amanda, we had a really good question. Someone wants to know, how does advertising the pet policy affect fair housing regulations?
okay.
And so that is one where, do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I can.
Okay. Okay.
So pets aren't a protected class. So you are able to determine whether you want to allow aggressive breed dogs or not, the sizes. You can put regulations on that. Now, if somebody does have, say they have a disability that where they require having a service animal, as far as I know, but if you modify any of your policies, as far as I know, that if they have proper documentation, then even if you are a pet-free community, pets are not considered, or service animals are not considered pets, and they're actually an extension of that person. And so therefore they would be able to stay at your community even if there were no pets allowed. But like I said, before you change any of your policies, it's probably best to check with your own attorney on that just to be 100% sure.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, so when I said renters consider pets a member of their family, the fair housing laws don't consider dogs and cats, unless they're service animals, to be members of the family. You should be good on that, but again, check with your own attorney, or you know, get the fair housing laws vary by city and by state also. So we're basically telling you what we know of the federal fair housing laws. Okay, now this one is really, really cute. We found this 2 days ago on the Huffington Post, and I've got the link here. We'll send out these slides afterwards, so if you want to actually go to this link and read the blog, you can. But this is a property that allows dogs, and if you look, there's a dog in every single picture, a really sweet dog. Right here, he's next to the coffee table. Here, he's peeking out from behind the kitchen cabinet. Over here, he's in the corner of the kitchen looking out between the two kitchen chairs. Here, he's behind the bed. And here, he's peeking out around the corner just to the right of the fireplace. So this, if you allow dogs, dog owners love seeing dogs in your pictures. So again, be creative with your photos and your pet policies. Renters really, really crave that information and like that. Okay. Okay, and then we did get some feedback on that, service animals. Service animals are not considered a pet. They are considered an extension of the person, yeah, which is what Jackie said. So pets being different from service animals.
I want to know how they got that dog to pose for those photos, because
I
I
know.
certainly, my little dog, I have a 4-pound Pomeranian. He would not be posing for anything like that.
I know, it's so cute. The dog's obviously been posed in those
I
pictures.
love
Very, very
it.
cute. Okay, the next one I think is pretty obvious to everybody in the days of the internet. When we are shopping on the internet, we want to know price and availability. I mean, it's just a given, but we still see listings that do not include a price. A small percentage do not include a price, and we still talk to property managers, say, well, I just want the renters to call me. Then I can tell them how wonderful my property is. Guess what? They're probably not going to call. And what you need to know is your competitive listings out there. 89, 90% of all the listings out there do list a specific rent amount. So if you are not listing rent, you are in the minority out there when renters are searching for properties, and 94% of all of our leads are coming through for the listings that do have rent. So list your rent amount, and I think you all pretty much know how to do that. You log into RentLinx. Your units are at the top of your edit page. You can see your rent amounts here, and then over at the right, there's edit links for each unit, and that opens up the little window where you can type in your rent. Renters searching online, just like us, when we're searching, I was shopping for shoes at Zappos last week. If some of those shoes had no prices, I would have just skipped right over them. Renters are the same way with your property. Let them know if they can afford to live there or not by listing your rent, and then when you do get a lead, it will be a more qualified lead. Okay, and we have our third little interactive portion right here. Jackie?
Yeah, just real quick, I wanted to say, when it comes to putting call for your rental rate, call to me or any see a price advertised usually means it's overpriced or I can't afford it. And when I actually used to do corporate housing or high-end luxury housing, that was probably about 8 years ago, so people weren't as internet savvy, but generally it would end up being that would be our way to sell people higher on our services and amenities. And people looking online no longer want to be sold. They just want the information at their hands so they can make an educated decision. And that way they know very much what's going on at your property before even visiting. So that way when they do visit, your job should be pretty easy since they already know a whole lot. They're just there to see everything, to make sure everything in your ad is as stated. So yeah, good stuff. So for our next poll, we want to know how many renters hang up when they get your voicemail during the day.
And this isn't specifically your voicemail because we don't know that, but we did do a study across thousands of phone calls that came through the RentLinx system of how many renters hang up when they get voicemail during the business day. And again, we kind of have an even split on the answers. 29% of you think that less than 10% of renters are going to hang up when they get voicemail during the day. And then you can see how the answers fall out. Interesting. Now I'm going to show you the answer to that. Again, not based on guesswork, but based on a study we did. 80% of renters hang up when they get voicemail at a property during the business day. This was shocking when we first found this out. But think about it. How many times do you call someplace, get voicemail, and hang up? I mean, I think it's what we do these days. We're in this ADHD world. We all want instant gratification. The other thing we found out through our study is that when renters hang up, very, very few of them call back or email. They're on their computer, they just go to the next ad, and they're calling somebody else. So we know you're busy, we know you're getting a lease signed, we know you're taking care of a resident, we know you're going out on a tour. If you can, a couple suggestions. The phone rings, answer it really quick and say, I'm in the middle of a tour, can I call you back in 15 minutes? And get their phone number. If you do miss a call and you have caller ID, call them back. We started doing this at RentLinx, and invariably, every single time, we're calling somebody back that did not leave a voicemail. When we call them and say, sorry, we missed your call about 10 minutes ago, can I help you? They're like, yes, I wanted to know, and they launch into their question. Call them back if you happen to miss a call. If you are a RentLinx Plus client, then you are getting hang-up notifications from us. If a renter calls you and hangs up, you have no voicemail, you have no record they call, our computers capture that, and we will send you an email and say, oops, a renter tried to call you and hung up without leaving a voicemail. So here's their number. You can call them back. Now we're going to spend just a minute or two, because we're coming up to the end here, on Craigslist. Ghosting. Just ghosting really quick. I think everybody knows what that is at this point. Ghosting is when you do all the hard work to put a post on Craigslist, but it never goes live because Craigslist thinks you're overposting or something. And we don't work for Craigslist. We don't know exactly what they do, but we do have some tools that can help you and that can track. So if you're posting to Craigslist from your RentLinx account, we will keep a little history of your posts here, all of your titles and your posting dates. And if you log into RentLinx and you ever see that you have a Craigslist post that's viewed 0 times, that means you've been ghosted. Nobody ever saw that ad. Craigslist sent you the confirmation, but it never went live. We don't know exactly why they do that, but we can tell you if it's happened. So that's important to kind of know if it's happened. The good news here is we also track specifically all the posts that go from RentLinx to Craigslist. Every week we have 3,000 posts that successfully go from RentLinx onto Craigslist week after week after week, and only 2% are getting ghosted. So that's important to know, that it isn't anything inherent in the RentLinx tool itself that we know of that's going to get you ghosted, because we do have 98% of our users' posts are successfully going. So make use of the Craigslist posting tool on RentLinx. So you log into your RentLinx account, you select a property, for instance, Central Park Place. You go over here to the right, click on Post to Craigslist. You'll get the Craigslist posting page come up, and then you can see your posting history, and you have choices of different templates. This is one of 3 templates. Your Craigslist post can look like this if you haven't ever tried it out. This is a beautiful looking page on Craigslist with a huge photo at the top, your thumbnails, bigger photos towards the bottom, built-in map, and this is called the Boxes template. It's one of my favorite templates, so try that. All right, and we had, Alicia said that she tried Craigslist but got at least 5 times as many spam responses. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, pretty much everyone, I think, has some kind of a love-hate relationship with Craigslist. Craigslist does drive a tremendous amount of traffic. It's the 10th most popular website in the United States, but it drives a lot of spam too. So we do know property managers that just don't even go to Craigslist because they don't want to deal with the spam. But if you're willing to deal with some of the spam that comes through from Craigslist, you might get some gems built in there too. So that's a personal preference. Okay, we are pretty much at the end of the webinar, and save the best gem of advice for last. The best way to generate more leads is to go Plus. So RentLinx Plus gets 11 times more leads than RentLinx Basic. Our average basic listing gets 3.2 leads a month, which is the free service. RentLinx Plus is a paid service, and you can get a better value. So we try to make RentLinx Basic as valuable as we can with the free websites, but Plus gets you featured on all of the websites, and it gets you on some highly trafficked paid websites. So our average Plus listing is getting over 35 leads a month. If you haven't tried it, it's something you might want to try. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. And here's the big announcement, guys. 2 big announcements. We're going to talk about Plus for small properties, our new product. Traditionally, when you wanted to use the RentLinx paid advertising, you had this Plus per lead service was your only choice, which is $10 per verified lead. You're still welcome to use that service. But if you do have a small property, which is 20 units or less, we just introduced a new form of advertising called Plus for small properties, which is a flat fee of $50 per property per month, and you get a guarantee of at least 5 leads or your next month is free. So that's something when you decide to advertise with RentLinx Plus, you're now going to get 2 different versions of Plus, and you can choose, click on these blue buttons at the bottom. And we are just about the end of our time, and we've covered all of our content today. This is a summary. We will send a copy of these slides out to all of our attendees this morning. Okay, so that's the end of our content. Jackie and I will stick around to answer questions.